Have you ever said yes while your body was quietly telling you to say no? People call you dependable, loving, strong, the one everyone can count on. And maybe part of you takes pride in that, right? Because being needed can feel like being valued. But underneath that, you're exhausted, quietly overwhelmed, sometimes even resentful, and maybe just a little disconnected from yourself. Welcome to Power and Purpose Within. I'm Kori Burgess, and this is a space for those of you who have spent so much of your life showing up for others that somewhere along the way, you forgot to show up for yourself. And that's a sad thing, but it's true. So here we have honest conversations about emotional wellness, self-trust, healing old patterns, and learning how to create a life that feels peaceful, aligned, and deeply your own. Because true healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about returning to who you were before that survival mode taught you to shrink. And today we're talking about something that is so many people quietly carry, the habit of always saying yes. Sometimes exhaustion, it doesn't come from doing too much at one time. It comes from abandoning yourself too often in all those small places. And that deserves the real conversation, right? So let's talk about why we keep saying yes. Why do we keep saying yes? Most people think always saying yes is kindness, but that often it's fear wearing the clothes of kindness. Fear of disappointment and disappointing people, fear of being misunderstood, fear of conflict, fear of rejection, fear of being seen as selfish. Sometimes the deeper fear is, if I stop being useful to others, will I still be loved? That question sits underneath so much of people pleasing. Because for many of us, this started, as I mentioned earlier, long before adulthood. Maybe you were the responsible one in your family, the peacemaker. Maybe you were the helper, the emotional, mature child, the one who learned early that being easy made life safer for everyone. Being helpful brought approval. Being quiet avoided conflict, or being needed created a belonging. So now, as an adult, saying no, that doesn't just feel uncomfortable, it feels unsafe. I'm not saying no. And if we don't recognize that, we'll keep calling self-abandonment generosity. They're not the same. They are not the same. You don't abandon yourself to be generous. You can be loving without losing yourself. You can be generous without betraying your own peace. And learning that distinction, that is where healing begins. So let's start with that. The disadvantages of always saying yes. Let's talk about that. Disadvantage one is burnout. This is the first cost that you have because every yes costs you energy, emotional energy, mental energy, physical energy, spiritual energy. And when your life becomes constantly emotional labor for everyone else, your nervous system feels it and you start feeling tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix it. Small things feel heavy. You become irritable. You become emotionally shut down. And before you know it, sometimes you wonder to yourself, why do I feel so exhausted? Before I know it, I'm so exhausted when technically nothing is wrong. But burnout rarely comes from big dramatic moments. Like I said before, it's usually coming from those small, hundreds of small, quiet moments where you're constantly saying yes to everyone else when you needed to rest. And sometimes you're tired because life is hard. And it is hard. You're tired because you keep leaving yourself out of it. Here's a disadvantage: loss of self-trust. Every time you ignore your own needs, you teach yourself you're not worth it. My needs can wait. My boundaries are negotiable. You teach yourself that. Other people's comforts matter more than mine. My no is less important than their disappointment. And over time, you stop trusting yourself. You stop asking, what do I actually want? What feels true for me? What do I need? You become incredibly skilled at reading everyone else in the room but disconnected from your own inner voice. That loss matters because self-trust is emotional safety. And when you stop trusting yourself to protect your peace, life starts to feel heavier than it needs to be. Disadvantage number 3, quiet resentment. This one surprises people. Resentment. Because overgiving creates emotional debt. You're in debt to yourself emotionally. You start thinking, why in the world am I always the one holding everything? Why does no one check in on me? Why do people keep expecting so much from me? And often it feels like everyone is asking too much. But sometimes people are responding to the version of you that never says no. And that's on you. That's on you. People trust the patterns we teach them. So that doesn't make them bad. It means boundaries were missing. You didn't set the boundaries. It's up to you to do that. That resentment is often a boundary that needs a voice. That realization can feel so uncomfortable, but it's also powerful because it means change is possible. So remember that. Now, disadvantage number 4, relationships built on performance. Woo! This one is tender. Sometimes people love your performance. They do, but not your presence. They love your availability, your emotional labor, your constant reliability, your over-functioning, your ability to hold everything together. But do they really know you, the real you, the tired you, the honest you, the version of you within your limits, the version of you who needs support too? Because healthy love survives boundaries. Unhealthy love resists boundaries. If connection only exists when you are the one that's constantly self-sacrificing, that isn't intimacy, that's dependency. If as you're listening, you realize you want more structure and support around this kind of inner work, I want to share something with you. I've created a 30-day personal growth challenge designed to help you slow down, reflect, and reconnect with yourself, one simple day at a time. It's not about perfection and it's not about pressure. It's about awareness and alignment and gentle consistency. If that feels supportive for where you're at right now, you'll find all the details linked in the episode description. Real love requires truth, not performance. Here we go. I'm giving you tools for your emotional toolbox. Each tool comes with practices to work on. This is how you learn to master your tools in this toolbox. You work on them. So let's talk about learning to say no with love. Okay. Tool number 1, pause before the automatic yes. Pause. Not every request deserves an immediate answer. Sometimes the pause is the boundary. Did you hear what I just said? Not every request deserves an immediate answer. Here's your 5 practices. Number 1, say, let me think about that. And then take time to actually think about it. Not how the person will feel because of your response, but how you will feel when you commit to the request. Number 2, create space before responding. Take time to imagine, in that space of time, imagine what your response will bring you. Will it bring you stress or joy, fulfillment, stuck, overwhelmed, satisfied? Number 3, notice what your body is saying. It's important to consider your body. When that request comes, is your stomach feeling tight? Are your shoulders bunching up? Do you have a false smile? Yeah, I'll do it. These are signs you should consider before committing to someone else or to something else, because it's important. And now, number 4, ask, do I want to do this or do I feel guilty or pressure? Number 5, practice delayed decisions. It's okay not to give an immediate answer. It's actually more respected when you take time to think about your involvement in the project. So remember, a pause is not rude. It's wisdom. Now, tool number 2, let no be gentle and clear. Boundaries do not have to be harsh to be healthy. So here's your 5 practices on that. The first 2 practices allow you to give options to a space or negotiate or rearrange your priorities. The first one is, that won't work for me. And the second one is, I'm not available for that right now. This gives you space and time if you desire to commit later. Now, number 3, I can't commit on that. And number 4, no, but thank you for asking. These allow you to gently exit the offer. Number 5, stop over-explaining your limits. No one expects you to. And remember, clarity is kindness. Here's your tool number 3. Rebuild self-trust. Every honest boundary is a promise you keep to yourself. And here's your 5 practices for that. Journal what you actually want. Number 2, notice where resentment shows up. Be aware of that. Number 3, honor small preferences daily. Number 4, keep promises to yourself. And number 5, ask, what do I need today? Protect your peace like it matters, because it really does matter. Tool number 4, separate love from usefulness. You are still worthy when you are resting. 5 practices there. Number 1, challenge the belief I have to earn love. Number 2, notice where usefulness can be identified. Number 3, rest without productivity. And number 4, receive help without guilt. Number 5, practice being loved, not just being needed. Repeat this daily to yourself. My worth is not my performance. And remember, these are your tools. Using them creates a sharper, more defined you. Tool number 5, choose honest relationships. Honest relationship. The right people will not require your self-abandonment. And here's your 5 practices. Number 1, notice who respects your no. Number 2, pay attention to who only loves access. Number 3, stop managing everyone's disappointment. That's not up to you. Number 4, choose peace over approval. And number 5, trust what boundaries reveal. And remember this, boundaries don't ruin relationships. They clarify them. Remember these things. Saying no is not rejection. It is information. You're giving information. It says, this doesn't work for me. I need rest. I need space. I need honesty. I need to stop abandoning myself just to keep the peace between people. This is not selfish. This is self-respect. You do not need permission to protect yourself and protect your energy. You do not need to prove yourself and your worth through exhaustion. And you do not need to keep shrinking yourself to stay lovable. Okay, ready? Your challenge of the week. Pick one of these. Say, let me think about it before your next automatic yes. That's one challenge. Or set one boundary without over-explaining. Or cancel one unnecessary obligation. Or ask yourself daily, what do I need today? Here's another one. Notice when resentment is trying to teach you something. Okay? Give us a comment with a check when you've done it. I want to know. I'm sending you off with this. You are allowed to disappoint people. You are, especially people who only love your overextensions. You're allowed to rest. You're allowed to choose peace. You are allowed to stop proving your worth through how much you carry. Sometimes healing begins with one small, honest sentence. No. And that is a sentence. And then meaning it. That's not selfish. That's self-respect. That's freedom. And maybe that is where you finally come back to yourself. That simple no. So if today's conversation spoke to you, don't keep carrying it alone. Join me, follow the podcast for honest conversations and practical healing tools. Now, I want you to share this with those people that you know who need permission to stop overextending themselves. You may be thinking of people while I'm talking. And if you're ready to go deeper and join my 30-day personal growth challenge, would love that. This is for people who are ready to rebuild self-trust, create healthier boundaries, strengthen emotional resilience, and come back to themselves. You hear I keep saying that, come back to yourself. One intentional day at a time, because real transformation doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the small daily choices that change how you live, love, and lead. And tell me, what is one thing you need to start saying no to? Put it in the comments, because boundaries do not destroy relationships. No, they reveal them. You need those boundaries. Sometimes that truth is where healing begins. So as I like to remind you, you are not lost. You are becoming aware again. And that changes everything. Take care, you guys, and we'll see you on the next show.